Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. If this video is helpful to you in any way, please like or subscribe. It really helps us out. My gas gauge hasn't worked since I bought the car, but today I'm going to dive in and fix it. This is the gas tank. I'm going to take a hammer, take this off, disconnect these things. I'm going to clean this up to make sure that nothing falls inside the gas tank first, and then we'll go from there. Remember, your battery has to be totally disconnected. My battery is disconnected. Okay, so we've cleaned up the area, and this connector just comes up. I feel like it has 3 pins. I'm not sure if that's a dummy pin or if something got broken off in there. I'll double check that to make sure it's okay. But it looks like there are 3 pins. 3 pins there. We're gonna take this off and unscrew this. Okay, I'm going ahead and put a mark here so that we could know where to, when we tighten up, where to stop. Oh, let's go ahead and take it off. So I'm going to use a huge screwdriver and place it directly on one of these ridges right here, and I'm going to just gently tap the top of the screwdriver until it starts to push this that way. Once I get it loose, I'll use my hands to unscrew it the rest of the way. Okay, so I was able to get the covers off, and this comes straight out. I was able to get the 2 connections off. This has to come off first, then this comes straight out. Be mindful that there's still gas in the bottom cup, so just go ahead and drain that and then pull it straight out. It's a little dirty. Cover this back up so that nothing falls in, and we're gonna go ahead and service this unit. We're gonna clean it up. We're gonna get inside. Now the first thing you have to do is to remove the bottom section. This middle piece does slide down to come off, but first you have to unscrew that bottom part, and the top part, we're going to go ahead and clean that up. That does not come apart. So very carefully I'm going to slide this down, and again I'm going to do it really slow. Those wires are super thin, so I want to be careful not to nick them or pull on them in any way. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, inside and out. So this is the float at the very top of our sensor. This is when the gas tank is full, and it rides on these wires all the way down to this connector right here. Once it bottoms out, when the gas tank is empty, the float rests on these 2 pins on the side, and your gauge should then read empty. The float has 2 connectors, one on each side, and you have to make sure that the wire is sitting right between the connectors, as you can see here. You see how that contact is not touching the wire? It's actually supposed to be on the other side of the wire. So I'm gonna figure out a way to get that over there without damaging that wire, and we are golden. I will also clean the contacts right above the float in the upper section. You can see that there is some rust there. Also on this shaft, it's also rusty. I'm gonna have to go clean that up also. So here I have my Loctite rust remover, and I'm gonna just apply a little bit of this to the rusty sections and let it sit for a while. I'll have to be very careful not to put any stress on those 3 wires. So I'm gonna let this sit for about half an hour, and then I'm gonna rinse it off using my my brush here. I'm gonna try to agitate some of the rust off of those contacts. So this has been cleaned up very nicely. Slides back and forth really easily. The contacts at the bottom are clean, have been cleaned, again with the brush and the rust dissolver, and the contacts at the top of that float have been also cleaned. There's still a little bit of rust on the end. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Again, very careful not to touch or disturb these wires. These 3 wires, they're very delicate. So I'm happy with the way this came out. I'm gonna go ahead and start the reassembly process. I'm going ahead and clean this up a little bit also, inside and out. This is a little dirty, so I'm going to go ahead and clean that out. So I've gone ahead and cleaned it up. I'm going to dry it out a little bit. Okay, so this hole right here goes into the hole right there, and this goes right through the middle. That's the pickup. This is the center. It's moving freely. This is a 6mm. There it is. Because there's a little tab right on the inside that locks into place right in here. So you want to make sure you get it centered, right? And again, just spin it until it locks into place. There it is. It's tightened. I'm going to use my Dremel and just clean it up just a little bit, right? I'm going to stay away from the contacts, right? Clean this up a little bit and then go ahead and put it back in. And again, this just has to be hand tightened. That's it. And we're all done. After reinstalling the sensor, I decided to take the top off the plug to take a look inside, and look what I found. The ground wire was broken. And of course it's all dirty, so I'm going to go back in and reattach this, clean this up a bit. So I reattached the wire right over here, taped it up, and pushed this back on. And look at that, I now have a reading. Thanks for watching.